I'd like to welcome you to Anthropology 362, Anthropological Perspectives on Global Issues. I'm Richard Robbins. I'll be the instructor for the class. And I want to spend only about 5 minutes to take you through some of the first things I'd like you to do and some of the features of the class I'd like you to be aware of immediately. If you go on our Moodle site, this is the first thing you'll see. This is the textbook we'll be using. It's online on our Moodle site, and so you won't have to purchase anything. And as you scroll down, you'll see some basic information on the course, basic housekeeping stuff. I think the first thing I want you to know is that I'll be available is whenever you need me, that you can contact me at my email address here, use the messaging function in Moodle. If you have an immediate concern, you can call me. If I'm not available, I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. And of course, you can text me at the same number. But the first thing I want you to do is to go to the Getting Acquainted forum. This is the first time I've started a class without seeing them. And I would like to get to know a little bit about you, what some of your interests are, what you plan to do, things you'd like me to know and you'd like others in the class to know about you. Where you're from, how much you've traveled, and so on. And if you click on that, it'll take you right to the forum. And if you click on my introduction, where I'll try to give you a little bit about the origin of the class, and then simply reply to that. And I'll try also to get back to you about your concerns. Next thing I want you to know is how the course is going to be organized. And the course syllabus is here. Give you an idea what that looks like. As the introduction to the class, some of the things that you'll be doing, the resources we'll have, how the class will be organized, grading, and so on and so forth. And again, if you've got any questions about that, let me know. One of the features of the class I want you to know immediately is that I have divided the class into groups. And I've done that to keep the discussions manageable. We're going to be doing a lot of discussion. And I think that's maybe one of the most valuable features of online instruction, because you'll be able to talk more to each other, exchange ideas. And as I can tell you from my own experience, you learn far more talking about and teaching other people than you do simply by learning on your own. And you can access this directly from the site. The other thing I want you to know is that I've also assigned each of you a country. And one of the things you'll be doing is a country report. You're going to actually be served as an imaginary advisor to your country, analyzing the problems of the country and suggesting solutions to those problems based upon, hopefully, a lot of things we'll be doing in the class and a lot of the readings and videos we'll be watching. And so this is what that looks like. You can also, I say, access that directly from the Moodle site, group assignments, and so on. Here again are your country assignments. The other thing I want to talk about specifically is the investing assignment. I've set it up so that each of you have $100,000. You can say you've inherited it from a long-lost relative and you want to save it for your retirement. You can put it in a bank, earn maybe 0.1% interest, or you can invest it in the stock market and maybe earn the historical rate of return of 10%. And I want to do this because a lot of the class is going to be about finance. In fact, you may have thought as we start that you accidentally stumbled on an economics class. Because what I'm going to try to show you is you cannot understand global issues. You cannot understand global problems without understanding economics, as well as history and political science and sociology and a whole host of other disciplines. But I want you to get a sense of what it is to be an investor. One of the things we'll talk about is how in the modern economy, there are really only two ways that you can earn money. One is by working. The other is by investing money and making more. And the consequences of that division, as I'll try to show you, are profound. So I want to get you to have a sense of what it's like to be an investor. Now, fortunately, there's a site called Investopedia that does, in fact, again, give you a good idea of what it's like to invest. They give you $100,000. On the site, you can pick stocks and invest in them. And you can do that. You can invest in one stock. You can invest in a whole host of stocks. Nevertheless, it'll give you a sense of what it is to look at your money grow or shrink, as the case may be, on an almost day-to-day basis. Now, there's more on that in the syllabus, and we'll talk more about it. But it'll be, as I say, a main feature of what we'll be doing. The only other thing I want to point out is, basically what's going to be involved. This, for example, is our first 2 weeks. We're going to look at money. You can't understand any of this without understanding money. And consumption. That is the importance of consuming. For our economy to work, you've got to consume more this year than last year, more next year than this year, in perpetuity. In fact, you really have to double your consumption every 5 or 10 years, or everything collapses. And it's essential to understand how we create a consumer. And so that's going to be what our first 2 weeks are going to be about. And I've put here, as I'll do for each week of the class, the things that I'd like you to be able to understand and describe. For example, the consequences of issuing money as debt, which is how we create it. The things that must be done to create the ultimate consumer. And you are the ultimate consumer. Role of government in constructing the consumer. Techniques used to market stuff to kids. That's how it starts. And how spiritual and intellectual values were transformed to further consumption, not only in the United States, but, as we'll see, the world. There'll be a reading from the textbook. There'll be a brief Zoom presentation, which I'll do. And then the meat of the course are going to be the discussions that we have. And if you'll just click on these, again, read what your responsibilities are, what you'll be doing, you'll get a better sense of how the class is going to go. Since I've divided you up into groups, you'll essentially have, again, 3 different forums, one for Group A, one for Group B, one for Group C, but they'll all deal with the same topic. First is going to involve a fascinating film called Advertising Missionaries, trying to sell things for the first time to a group in the highlands of New Guinea, whose lives hadn't changed for years. And then we'll go on to a second film on consuming kids, how marketers try to, quite literally, brand kids, and what that means. So these are some of the basic things we'll be doing. Try to get a start as soon as you can. There's more on the course in the syllabus. As I said, if you have questions, just ask me. I'll answer them and get back to you as soon as I can. So good luck, and please stay safe.